powerful guide as to who to target in free agency because they aren't usually a big player in that respect.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pistons. Sean Williams checks in for Drummond. Jody Meeks comes in for Jackson. And John Lucas is subbed in for Brandon Jennings. Shots good by Walker.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
Pistons trail by 4.
And we know the Hornets definitely aren't as big a player in most free agent markets. That's pretty clear, small market team. They're usually at the bottom of the league in payroll. But they are making the most of what they spend now with their analysis, so trying to level the playing field a little bit.
Now here's Stevenson. Greg Monroe unable to get his shot to go. And that one's good by Stevenson.
Their offense already flowing. Some stellar shooting while jumping out to this lead.
Well, high-quality shots, and they've been on target with them.
Now here's Lucas. He kicks it to Monroe. High, arcing shot, and the layup is good.
Looked like he may have been showboating a little bit at the end of that one.
Hornets leading by 4. Walker goes in. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. Walker's got 5 now.
You know, the height difference there is huge, but he canceled it out with great body control in the air.
Exactly, Steve. He got to the hoop and wouldn't allow himself to be manhandled by the big boy.
Now here's Lucas. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Monroe and Detroit again with the bucket.
Now, this quarter has gone awfully well for him. It seems like every chance he's gotten, he's pretty much converted.
Hornets have gone 6 of 8 in the game so far. A very solid start for them. Here's Mr. Perfect. .23 seconds left here in the first quarter. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Stevenson. No good. Prince with the defensive effort. Lucas kicks to Williams. It's rebounded by Stevenson.
Can't say I'm surprised that one didn't fall. He can barely dunk it in the pregame layup line.
Clark, some serious agility coming out of the backcourt.
You know, that bucket might count for a little more than 2 points when he finishes with that kind of flourish.
Yeah, against a D that was already reeling a little bit. That was like a body blow.
And we reached the end of the first quarter. Hornets ahead as they wrap up the first quarter with a massive 16-7 run. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from the Palace of Auburn Hills. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And when you consider how Charlotte is doing, Stephen Clark, what are your thoughts?
And a good start for this club. I like the way they played together, really moved the ball and did a nice job offensively.
Yeah, excellent ball movement, and it's paid off on the scoreboard, too.
Here is Stevenson on the court for the Hornets. Inside, Cody Zeller and Bismack Biyombo. Henderson and Stevenson on the perimeter. And it's Mr. Perfect in at the point guard.
Some defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
Yeah, giving up these easy chances is going to do wonders for their confidence.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Well, gentlemen, as you know, great post scoring is a bit of a lost art in the NBA, but Al Jefferson is a throwback player. He said, you know what gets me going? When I spin to the baseline real quick, get you off your feet, go under you, and throw it up fast. That's better than any windmill or 360 dunk I could ever do. Kevin?
Oh, well, loves to operate down low. Thank you, Doris.
Boy, and I love Jefferson's great footwork on the low box. I mean, he's always keeping defenders off balance.
And he hits it and gets hacked on the play. A 3-point possibility if he can convert the free throw.
Heard the whistle and still kept his focus, able to knock that down.
And that is not easy, Steve. I mean, to take the bump, to maintain control of your body, and put it in the hole, tremendous play.
Here's what Charlotte's going with right now. Jefferson's checked in for Bismack Biyombo. And Michael Kidd-Gilchrist subbed in for Lance Stevenson. Jefferson, a screen on Jackson. 5 on the clock. The Detroit Pistons, a proud franchise, of course, from 03 to 08, 6 consecutive trips to the Eastern Conference Finals. And Clark in 2004, the NBA title.
But the rebuild process has had its hiccups, Kevin, its speed bumps, if you will, some questionable free agent signings. There's talent there, but this team hasn't quite figured out how to come together.
Then you look at the Pistons, some great size and athleticism inside, but they've lacked the high percentage outside shooting to space the floor offensively.
Williams kicks to Jackson. Dishes to Caldwell Pope. From deep. Shot is no good. And it's the Hornets taking it the other way. Here's Mr. Perfect. He's got 8. Williams comes with a double team. Here's Mr. Perfect. Some solid defense there from Jackson.
And you know, for the Pistons last season, you look at the size and shot blocking ability, and you thought that team would be tougher defensively. But that wasn't really the case. I think it has to be attributed to mindset. Those young, big, athletic guys have to become much tougher mentally at the defensive end to be really successful.
That rebound and the follow kind of typify what he's all about. Just gritty, determined play.
Charlotte leading by 3. Mr. Perfect, the pass to Kid Gilchrist. Zeller inside, working on Williams. Good.
That time the defenders were a little lazy getting to him.
We're just over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. And here's Jackson, averaging 12 points a game. Butler kicks to Jackson, launches it. The Hornets pull it in.
Things have kind of gone south for him here in the quarter.
And the jam by Gerald Henderson.
And the lead just grows on that ridiculous offensive sequence.
You know, Clark, that dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop.
Yeah, that just added more to it.
Yeah, what a beautiful connection on that play.
Jackson. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. For Detroit, they have shot 2 of 3 from the free throw line tonight. It's not very often you can say this about the future is looking pretty bright in Charlotte.
So often the season ends and you're thinking about the issues you've got to deal with, but right now the Hornets headed in a good direction.
Greg Monroe, he's checked in for Detroit. Jennings comes in for Butler. And a switch here also for Charlotte. Taylor's checked in. Kid Gilchrist, the pass to Mr. Perfect. Clock at 6. He dishes it to Jefferson. And Charlotte again with the bucket.
And for Charlotte, as you said, you know, part of it is feeling good with their direction, but also they should feel good that they actually have a direction after the way the last few years have gone.
No one near Jennings as he lets it fly. And again, it's the Pistons missing. Hornets leading by 8. Here's Zeller. Cashes in for a double-digit lead. Zeller's got 4 points now in the quarter.
You know, having a direction, as you mentioned, had been a problem with Charlotte because they seemed to change.
And so that brings the first half to a close. Hornets on top, leading by 14.
Well, Karan, what do you take away?
All right, guys, focus on me. We got them where we want them, and we can quiet.
Now it's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third.
Been a great game tonight for Monroe. 9 points, and he has 1 steal to his credit as well.
But he's done a better job than the numbers indicate, really. I think he's been really sound defensively, and he's helped his club.
Monroe and Drummond there inside. Jennings out there with Reggie Jackson. And it's Prince in at the 3 slot. That's the group starting the second half for Stan Van Gundy.
Al Jefferson, 6'10", over 280 pounds, and he's got a 9'2" standing reach. He's got the size to play center, but hasn't always been a great defender at that position. I thought Charlotte really put him in a good position last year, however, with their scheme, and he was very effective.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hi, Kev. Mr. Perfect in their last time out against the Hawks just played phenomenal. He dropped in 24 points, and along with what he did on the offensive end, he also played some stellar defense as well. A truly dominating game from him in what was hopefully a sign of things to come. At least that's how the franchise is thinking, guys.
All right, Doris, thanks. And Steve, yet another special game from a player that we know is incredibly capable for this team.
Yeah, he sure is. We saw it firsthand, and it was fun to watch. He really got it rolling.
Yeah, nothing better than to see a guy confident, comfortable, on a roll, and elevating his team to high levels of play. That's a beautiful thing to watch, fellas.
He feeds it to Henderson. There's the pick. Off the screen. And Charlotte again with the bucket. And Al Jefferson, not the fleetest of foot, but a good nose for the ball.
You know, he's always been a terrific rebounder, and I've said before that rebounding isn't about how high you jump. It's about how physical you are and how hungry you are to get after the ball and timing and positioning. And he's actually improved defensively, too.
Here's Mr. Perfect, guarded by Jackson. Mr. Perfect, the pass to Zeller. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
That's his first personal foul.
And let's go now to the rookie watch. For the past month, these have been the most productive NBA rookie scores. And you look at Mr. Perfect, leading the league in points per game. Such a great player.
And those numbers have started to set him apart offensively from most of the other rookies in the league.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a month for him, no doubt about that. I mean, let's see if he can continue to build on it, though.
Hornets leading by 16. Jefferson, a screen on Jennings. A baseline J. Jefferson, that's good.
Assist from
Jefferson's got 8.
Yeah, no problem knocking down that shot. And a little more damage inflicted on another defensive lapse.
The drive by Jennings. Outside for Jackson. From downtown. Zeller grabs the board. For Charlotte, they've gone 3 of 3 from the field since halftime. A floater, Al Jefferson again. Jefferson's got 8 points here in this quarter.
The defense pretty much helpless there, stopping that layup. I think too much of a mismatch in terms of height.
17-foot shot on the way. Prince misses.
Well, the shot was there for him, and he had to take it. I don't care if he didn't convert it. He's got to take that every time.
Jefferson, a screen on Jennings. Outside, Kid Gilchrist. The pass to Mr. Perfect. There's a good screen. Now the feed to Henderson. Jefferson trying to break loose. Again, the Hornets score.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
Yeah, they're making the right, they're working together, and they're just looking for the best shot they can every possession.
A different look here for Detroit. Sean Williams checks in for Drummond. Butler comes in for Tayshaun Prince. And it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in for Brandon Jennings. Monroe's shot is good.
Well, second chance points are not easy to come by, but when you work as hard as he has today, it becomes a lot easier.
And it's Kid Gilchrist penetrating. Can't hit the free throw line jumper. Pistons trail by 20. Michael Kidd Gilchrist, the second overall pick back in 2012. And Clark, as you know, an NCAA champion. You saw it firsthand with Kentucky.
Yeah, you know, I like his disposition, and I love his motor. I mean, his defense, his size, athleticism. He's an excellent rebounder for his position and size. He can defend up to 3 or 4 positions on the court. You know, you look at him, and I don't like to compare guys, Kevin, but, you know, he reminds me a bit of a young Gerald Wallace type.
Feeds to Henderson. Puts it up from 12. And Charlotte again with the bucket.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
To the paint, here's Caldwell-Pope. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Caldwell-Pope's got 4 points this quarter.
Boy, they are just destroying them in the paint.
You could say that again, Steve. The defenders just aren't aggressive enough down low.
In the corner, Henderson with it. To the paint. No good for Mr. Perfect.
That was a layup, and you've got to knock that down. You've got to convert when you get those opportunities.
They get the rebound. Monroe dishes to Caldwell-Pope. Here's Zeller. Here's Mr. Perfect. And he banks in the layup. Mr. Perfect's got 10 points in the game.
And yeah, they're moving the ball now. 8 of their last 10 points coming off assisted buckets.
Steve, nothing makes a coach smile as much as pure, selfless teamwork.
Monroe sets a screen for Jackson. Caldwell-Pope kicks to Jackson. It's blocked. And it's out of bounds to the Pistons as Detroit retains possession. A different look here for Detroit. Jody Meeks comes in for Butler.